Hey guys, David with Wholesaling Partners, and I am here with Damon Remy, the founder of REI BlackBook. And I've recently decided, after looking at a lot of CRMs, that I wanted to make REI BlackBook the official BlackBook or official CRM of Wholesaling Partners. And so I wanted to get Damon on here and just run through the platform for us and show us how it all works, how to set everything up, and what an amazing tool this is. So, Damon, thanks for doing this with me today, and
Yeah.
let's dig into it. Again, there's a lot of CRMs on the market. A lot of them are built on, go high level and different platforms. But when I got into yours and dug into it, it's really it's a lot different, and it's for me, as a wholesaler, it's a lot better tool than what's out there on the market.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. In fact, I think the first time you and I chatted was several months ago, and you were even, contemplating building your own and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, hey man, I'm an open book. I'll help you.
Yeah.
Because it's if hindsight was 2020, I don't know what I would have built, but maybe
Yeah.
not the whole
I'll
thing.
tell you, since you brought that up, I have a completely built CRM on a platform similar to Go High Level. And the reason I never launched it was because of just glitches and support from that company, right? And I don't want to launch something that has has bad support, right? Because somebody trying to build their business off of something like this, and their websites and their
Yep.
forms and their flows and all that stuff, and I don't want to promote something that's garbage. So I scrapped that whole thing and went to REI BlackBook.
Well, let's start there then. Let's kind of chat a little bit about, I'll talk, kind of overview of what we do, and then we'll get in, we'll talk about setting some stuff up, show some real stuff. At the end of the day, guys, we're probably best known for our support. There's a couple of different ways that we do that. First and foremost, we've got a Facebook community. I'm extremely active in that Facebook community. I've got a dedicated support team that it's not just they'll shoot an email. If they got to schedule a Zoom call and get on with you one-on-one, they'll do that. I've got an entire support library, how-to videos, kind of walks you through everything. And then, last but certainly not least, we have this little dynamic help button that kind of follows you around through the platform. And it's dynamic because it knows exactly where you're at in the platform. And it says, oh, you're on the task manager. Okay, well then let me show you, help team task overview and how to set those up here, and et cetera, right? So the help category, or the help really is, we get it, we understand it. I tell my team all the time, like, we want to sell software the way we want to buy software, right? So how do we want to be treated? How do we want to be supported? So support for sure. Now,
yeah, absolutely.
Let's jump in, and really what you probably want to do is kind of talk about some of the foundational fundamental stuff to how to set it up. So we do get labeled as a CRM all of the time. I like to say that we're more of a platform, because it's going to be way more than just your contact management system. When I set out to build this 15 plus years ago, kind of crazy that time flies, man, but
Right.
you've been around for a while, right? But when I set out to build this 15 plus years ago, guys, the main problem that I was trying to solve was the fact that there's all of these different tools, and I'm having to log in for this feature, that feature, and I got to make them all talk to one another. And then next thing you know, this one upgrades and it breaks the connection, and the API and the Zapier and all this other stuff.
Right.
And it just was, you're pulling your hair out. And so we are a contact management system, but we also provide a complete phone system. It is a complete smartphone system, very advanced call routing, online inbox, mobile app, all of that stuff. Fully functioning websites, right? So fully functioning websites with integration to your contact manager. So complete web form builders, campaign tracking, all kinds of really cool stuff there we'll chat about. And then from there, we also have the whole automation portion. Our workflow engine is very, very robust. So you don't need another tool like a MailChimp or something like that to handle all of your text follow-ups and your email follow-ups and reminders and all of that stuff. Complete task management system in here. It's all of the property. Whenever you add a property, you can run comps, you can see the analysis, you can see the property details. But then it helps you on the property marketing side as well. We actually help you disposition that property. And and the cool thing is, since we provide the websites, all of your real estate, your properties all get automatically published back to your websites. So it really is one of the only all-in-one platforms out there on the market, but we start with the CRM. So let's jump there, right? So let's kind of chat a little bit about that.
Okay.
The first thing, whenever you log in, we'll just start there. Whenever you first log in, you're going to be prompted with this, it's going to say, hey, welcome to REI BlackBook. There's a nice little REI BlackBook overview video where to start. It's going to really kind of dive deeper into how to get the end result you're looking for. And then we've got a quick start guide, right? Your basic account setup. We want to make sure you set up your marketing profile, make sure that you tell us your right email addresses, your cell phone number, so that we can send notifications and alerts, download the mobile app, create your profile, do all that stuff. And then really the first thing we want you to do is activate your business phone number. Now we'll do that together on today's call as well. Okay. After you get your phone number set up, and which, guys, we're talking 5 minutes. I mean, it's less than that, to be honest. It's really simple to set up your phone number. Then you're going to build your first lead capture website. Now, depending upon your subscription level, we do have multiple different subscription levels, but you can have up to 10 different websites. And we're going to build one for motivated sellers today, and maybe cash buyers as well. So we'll kind of talk about how those two work, especially important for wholesalers.
Mm-hmm.
How to pick your domain name. This is one of those things you'll probably see from in the demonstration, David, that I realized, as I've built this thing, and I've been in the systems and IT support for 20 plus years, actually probably 30 years at this point in corporate America before I started REI BlackBook. Just realizing that there's small little things that get people hung up. And so one of them was actually going to GoDaddy and buying their domain name, and then figuring out how to set up all the DNS records and all that other stuff to point to your website. It was like, man, that's frustrating. So what we did is we built a domain management system right into the platform.
I got to tell you, and I was going to bring that up when we got to that part, but hooking up the domain for REI BlackBook is probably the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. It was so easy. And like you said, it's like usually it's like DNS and you got to do this and do that. And it was literally just filling out the two code, and we'll let you get into it, but it was easy. It was easy.
Yeah, so it's honestly one of those areas. Again, I've been around the block, man. Been doing this for 15 years, and what we do sometimes we'll just go look at all of our support tickets and say, all right, where are users having problems? Where are things breaking down for them? We're like, okay, well, we can solve that. Let's fix that. And so that's what we did. So
awesome.
So again, guys, this is just a quick start guide, and we'll go through this together with you guys on today's call here. So the first thing we'll do is, again, if I click on the setup access, what that is really going to do, it'll take you to a step-by-step overview, right? Video, or we include videos typically as well. And we'll even give you a real simple day one checklist. Say, hey, this is what we want to get completed on day one. Honestly, though, it really is much easier. It's not going to take you a full day. All you really need to do is come in and set up your marketing profile. Okay. So your marketing profile is going to be the information that you typically want merged into your websites and into your email communications and all of that type of stuff. So you'll set up your marketing profile. Should take you less than a minute, to be honest. All right. So you'll set that up. And then the next thing I want you to set up is we're going to click on the gear icon, right? And it takes me right to our system notifications. And so what you want to do is you want to click on the actual notifications. And this is basically just saying, hey, look, what do you want and how do you want to receive these notifications? All the way from Profit Dial, that is our phone system. So just to be clear, we call it Profit Dial. That is our complete phone system, all right? And you're going to see in a bit, it's fully functioning website. But how do you want to get notifications for incoming calls? Do you want an email notification, text? Do you want to push notification to the app? How do you want to get notified of text, task, anything that's assigned to you, anything that's due today? Wallet notifications, right? So we do have a wallet in here so that if you go over, which very candidly doesn't happen often, most of the plans, you're going to have plenty of text messages and phone credits and RVM credits and all the stuff that you need. But how do you want to get notified if your wallet is running low? So that's what you want to do day one. Okay. going to take you probably less than 10 to 15 minutes to set all of this up. And then you're really ready to move on to the quick start guide number 2, which is how do we activate our business phone number, okay? So that's really going to be the first thing I want you to do, is to go in and set up a phone number. And to be clear, look, I anticipate you'll have multiple phone numbers, right? In our professional plan, which is $297 a month, we're going to give you 10 phone numbers, okay? And if you need to add more, you can certainly do that. I think they're like $4.95 per additional number. We're going to give 10 of them out of the box at that professional plan, okay? Why do you need multiple phone numbers? Well, David could probably tell you this as well as anybody. But look, if you're going to market today, if you're going to do any sort of marketing, then you need to be able to track what marketing is effective, okay? In fact, I think it's the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer of JCPenney's. He's got a famous quote. And the quote is, he knows that half of his marketing doesn't work. $500 million budget, by the way, right? So he knows he's wasting $250 million. He says, the problem is, though, I don't know which half. And I don't want that to be you
Right.
as an investor and as a wholesaler, okay? So use different phone numbers. And so really what you're going to do, we can click on activate phone number. Again, I'm going to take you directly to a step-by-step support article, right? And even have some videos to show you how to do that. But really, pretty simple to do. It's very intuitive.
Very
right?
simple to do.
Yeah, so you can see here, I've actually got multiple phone numbers in this account. So if you don't have any phone numbers, this is a demo account. So the very first time you log in, you're probably not going to see any phone numbers here, and it's going to have a big button that says add new phone number. But here's my add new button. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add new number, and it's going to pop up and it's going to say choose a number type. All right. 95% of the time, you are going to choose business line over information hotline. And I'll explain the differences here. And we're going to set up a business line right now today. The information hotline, this is basically, you probably have seen these free recorded messaging systems. And I used to use them in my mortgage business all of the time for real estate agents to help them sell their houses. And you probably have seen it. You pulled up to a sign, to a house, and it has on the sign writer, it says, call this number, dial this extension, and listen to a free recorded message about this house. That's the information hotline. It really, really helps you sell your properties. If you just want them to call, dial an extension, and listen to the information on the property. Now, there's a bunch of cool things that happens on that. You instantly get notified of their phone number and everything else. You know exactly which property they called on. You could use different extensions for the sign writer, for the newspaper ad, for the Facebook ad. And so now all of a sudden, you know which property they're calling on, what marketing work, all that stuff on the information hotline, okay? But for today, we're going to start with the business line, all right? So we're going to go ahead and start with the business line. It's just going to pop up and says, hey, find your phone number. We do allow you can search and find toll-free numbers. I think those are an added $7.95, I believe. But for most of you, you're going to want a local number. Now, if you're doing, I will tell you where your toll-free number can be very handy, especially if you're wholesaling. You might want to use a toll-free number to do all of your broadcast to your cash buyers. They used to be a little less regulated on the text messaging. However, to be very candid, both are pretty heavy regulated now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so local number is probably just as effective unless you're doing some national stuff, right? So you come in. There's a couple of ways, some smart ways that may not be completely obvious here. We try to make it obvious. Of course, the first area, I can just come in and search for the area code, and it's going to come in and it's going to tell me what numbers are available. Now, I always tell people, especially in demos, I'm just going to go pick a number real quick and not worry about it. But I'm always looking for a good number, right? I'm always looking for a good number. If you don't see something that's memorable and you want to refresh the results, you can just come in here and refresh the results. Pretty simple to do. If for instance, I want, let's go ahead and say that I want the phone number contains cash. I can actually come in and type in cash, and it will actually search for vanity numbers, right? So what that just did, search for a vanity number. I didn't tell the area code. So I don't personally like vanity numbers just because people have to remember what numbers to dial.
Right.
Or I could come in and say, hey, it's really close to this 314-310-000, and I could search for numbers, okay? So there's lots and lots of ways to come in here and search for numbers. So we'll search for a 314 area code. let's just go ahead and pick one. What do we got? I like this 9779. So we'll go ahead and select that phone number. And so that number is now being added to your account. It's being provisioned. So we'll go ahead and use that selected number. Now what happens is now we got to configure the number. So this is really pretty simple. First thing we're going to do is we're going to name it. And let's just say that we're going to use this because we're going to put this on our bandit signs. So this name, just to be clear, is internal purposes only. So it just helps you identify that phone number throughout the system, okay? The next thing you're going to do is set up a call flow. Now, if you've already got a call flow, you can select a call flow from the dropdown. I'm going to get to that in just a second. We're going to create a new call flow together because it's really powerful to really, you can pretty much do whatever you want with these daggum numbers. It's pretty cool. But I want to point these things out first. The next thing on step 3, I'm going to set up the tracking, okay? So this basically says, look, anytime that this phone number is called, I want, especially if I'm using this on my bandit signs, typically it's going to be a new contact. And if it's a new contact, I want to go ahead and select the contact source, and we're going to set that. And you can see right here, I've got bandit sign in the drop down. So it's going to set the source on the contact record, okay? So the cool thing about having your phone system, your website, and your contact management system all on the same platform, not just a CRM, is now whenever they call on the phone system, we can automatically create a new contact if it doesn't exist. Now, if David calls me, I'm obviously going to see on the caller ID, and we're going to search the contact database and say, oh, David's calling me. I can actually route this differently and things like that. I'll show you, but I don't need to change the source. I hope that's clear and makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then we can also set additional tags. I can tag it however I want. You can create unlimited tags. And then the final thing that you'll want to do is you will actually set up your A2P messaging. Okay. Now, to be clear, you will have to set up your A2P messaging first. I'll talk a little bit about that. I've got an entire training webinar specifically on A2P. That just simply means application to person is really what that means. You probably heard a lot of social media talk and buzz around that, but it really just simply means application, i.e. REI BlackBook. So any software like REI BlackBook that's going to send text messages, they do have to register today. And we make it really easy right in the software, okay? All right. So 4 steps.
I think anybody doing text messaging has heard A2P lately.
Yeah. It's I've been preaching that for 4 years myself, so hopefully it's gotten through, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but you can select the A2P registration right here. It's pretty simple. Now, what we want to do is instead of selecting a call flow, I'm going to create a new call flow for the first time. So I go ahead and hit create new call flow. We'll go ahead and name it, and I'm going to go ahead and say bandit sign call flow. Now, I want to be clear here. If you have the same call flow for let's say I'm going to run bandit signs, Facebook ads, and postcards. If I want that same call flow to happen every time, I would just create a generic more of a generic call flow. And then every time I set up a number, I would say trigger this call flow. And it's like, hey, this is my leads, like incoming leads call flow. This is exactly what happened. And it won't matter because if they call the bandit sign number, if they call the Facebook number, they call the postcard number, all of those are going to be tagged and set at the phone number level, remember? So we already set that up, okay?
Right.
So now we got the bandit sign here. We're going to name this one bandit sign just for the purpose of this. Now I've got all kinds of options here, okay? I can forward the call. I can forward this to multiple people. So if I've got multiple people on my team, I can simultaneous ring, and then basically whoever answers, it's going to ring us all at the same time. I could ring them to a greeting. I could send them to voicemail. I can tag them. I can add a contact tab. And a contact tab inside of our contact management system is basically a way to group a select set of fields. So for instance, if they call the bandit sign, I know now that they're probably looking to sell the property. So that might add the seller tab with all the seller fields to the contact record. I can update fields. I can trigger additional workflows. I can do smart routing. All right. This is actually really pretty cool. I'll just click on this real quick. What this does is it allows you to build a filter again on that CRM, right? So I'm gonna call this one VIP. Let's just say that I can actually, whenever they call this number, what it's going to do, I can come in here and say search, and it says anybody that's tagged with VIP, right? And that says VIP buyer. Just please ignore that for demonstration purposes. But I'm going to go ahead and apply that, right? So what that does, guys, is it says, hey, look, search the database, right? So I can see that David called. Cool. Search the database for his contact record and ask if his contact record is tagged VIP. If so, then I want you to forward this to my personal cell phone number, right? So forward that to my personal cell phone number. Now, if they're not a VIP, that's okay. Basically, we're going to call everybody else. All right. Everybody else is going to follow branch 2. And I'm just going to go ahead and send them the voicemail. Right. So you'll see that the call. Now, here's what I would encourage everybody to do. Right. Before you jump in and start clicking buttons and start figuring out what this stuff does. All right. Don't get me wrong. We do a lot of stuff. It's really, really cool. But don't let the tail wag the dog. Right. Don't let the tail wag the dog. And REI BlackBook is the tail. Right. It's just the software. It is just a tool. You tell the tool what to do, not the other way around. So I would encourage you, David, I don't know how you do this personally, but I'm a whiteboard guy. I'll just jump on the whiteboard and kind of say, all right, if somebody calls this number, what do I want to happen? And I'll kind of draw those steps out before I try to go build out the automation. Okay. Yeah. But for this, we'll go ahead and what we'll do is we'll forward it to 555-1212. Okay. And then here's a really cool thing that we do. We call it branching. But we can add branching that says, look, if it's answered, do this. If there's no answer, do this. And by the way, as a reminder, I'm going to show you in just a second, you can actually set it up so all of these calls are recorded, right? So if this is answered, I could add a tag, for instance, maybe for reporting purposes. I want to know how many calls were answered. So I'll add a call tag, answered. And then, you know what? I don't want to go back in and check the listen to the recording. I want to assign that to my assistant and have her disposition the lead. So I'm going to say, listen to call and disposition for next steps. Now, if you've got a training video, which we typically will record a Loom video and throw it in a Google Drive, whatever, and it just creates the link. We could actually put, for training, for step-by-step, and then I would insert the URL here, okay? So now all of a sudden, we're going to assign this, and it's going to go to, we're going to assign this to Tony Romo. And that'll be due as soon as this is triggered. So now Tony's going to get a task to listen to the call and disposition for next steps. It'll have a link to the contact. So Tony doesn't have to go search for it or anything else. He just clicks on the link. And then if we wanted to actually have the step-by-step instructions, so that's really good for turnover and stuff like that. But it's pretty simple there, guys, okay? So answered, and then finally we'll go over here to no answer, and we'll say, all right, if nobody answers, if I don't answer the phone, let's go ahead and drop them to voicemail. Please leave a message. We'll go ahead and tag it no answer. Okay. Oh, I misspelled that. Let's try to spell correctly. There we go. There's no answer. So we send them to voicemail, tag it no answer. That really should be good enough. We're going to go ahead and hit save and close. And at that point, this phone number is pretty much set up and ready to go with the last step being that I'm going to come in and here's my bandit signs. And it does tell you guys right away our A2P messaging. You can see here, I have not assigned that to a campaign. And then my call recording is disabled. So I'm going to go ahead and click on disabled on the disabled tag. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on call recording for all my incoming calls and my outgoing calls. The immediate question typically is like, hey, is that legal? Do I have to have two-party consent? All right. That is state dependent. So depending upon where you're at, that will be dependent upon your state. If it is required that you must give them a notice of the call recording, so it's two-party consent. So you want to inform that user that the call will be recorded. Just go ahead and hit on. And then we do have some system recordings here. You can select a female voice or a male voice, and you can, come in here and listen to these. It's pretty simple. Okay. So there we go. Everything's on. The system recordings are turned on, and hit save changes. And that is it. Okay. So I don't know how long that took me, but not too long, maybe 10 minutes to set up your phone number. Now, here's the cool thing. If I set up that general phone number, to add more numbers, guys, it's going to be pretty simple. Search for a number. There we go. We're going to 6848. We're going to select that number. And now I'm going to come in and name it. This is going to be my bandit signs in St. Charles, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and select bandit sign, my call flow, because we already built that call flow once. I'm going to set up my tagging. So I'm going to put in St. Charles bandit signs. And then go ahead and set up that to bandit sign. And that's it, guys. I mean, now I can just go ahead and hit done. And that number is now created and turn on recording. So really, once you go through that first process and you get your call flows identified and set up, it really is very, very quick to add additional numbers to your account. Okay.
And again, like you mentioned, if you're doing multiple streams of marketing, you're doing postcards and you're doing bandit signs, driving for dollars, use a different number for each one so you know what's the most effective, right? Because you might want to say, hey, I'm not getting anything from postcards, so I'm going to double down on bandit signs, or I'm going to double down on driving for dollars, or whatever. And you can put your efforts where the dollars are coming from, right? So remember to do that.
Yeah.
One more thing. If anybody's ever used another CRM or software where you can set up workflows, it's amazing how much easier it is to build a workflow on your system on REI BlackBook than other systems out there, because some of them it's just you feel like you need to be a tech genius to set something up, right? But you've made it very easy to do it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's hard to make stuff easy. You know what I mean? It really is. So there's a couple things that I want to tell you guys about the phone numbers, though. Okay, there's a couple of things here, all right, that we do that are pretty cool. First of all, we turned on the call recording. All right, so all the calls are recorded, incoming and outgoing, and as David mentioned, right, like absolutely set up multiple numbers so you can track your marketing. You know it's effective. Totally cool. But we also have we have the ability to text. Okay, so it's complete text messaging campaigns, and you can set up keywords. So now we just went ahead and we set up the that phone number there. So we got 314-230-9779, right? That's the number. I'm going to write that down just so I can remember that. Okay. So now let's say that I want to set up a keyword, and on my postcard, maybe I want to say text in cash to get a cash offer on your property. Okay. I can actually come over here. I can create a keyword now. I can say add a new keyword, and we're going to say cash. I might, add a description. I'm going to put that on text keyword on the bandit sign. I probably wouldn't do this on a bandit sign, to be very candid, but maybe a postcard. And then we come in and say, okay, what phone number are we going to use? Remember, I told you we want to label them so it's easy to reference. So there's bandit signs 314-230-9779. And then that can actually trigger any sort of workflow. So we'll talk about the workflow builder in just a second, but a workflow is going to be very similar to a call flow. It's basically automation sequences. Do I want to send them a text message reply? Do I want to send them a link to my website? Do I want to notify somebody on my team that they need to call this person back right away? There's all kinds of cool things that I can do, but it's very easy to set up keywords in your texting, for your text lines and everything else as well. Okay. So that gets overlooked, to be honest. I actually priced this out. It's insane how much other companies are charging you for keywords. You can set up unlimited keywords for every phone number you have and everything else. We're not going to charge you additional money for that. All right. And then last, but certainly not least, now that number's set up, if you are on our professional plan, it also includes conversational AI, right? And so Dave, to kind of prove this, maybe do you have your cell phone handy?
I do. Yeah.
You want to call this number here? Let me get my phone out. Call 314-916-1500. So 314-916-1500.
All right. Call it now.
Yeah. Go ahead and call it. I'm pretty confident that I've got that set up to ring my cell phone, my personal number. Yeah. So there we go. So it rang. So I've got that number set up, everybody. Thank you for calling St. Louis Home Buyers. This is Damon. How may I help you? Right.
Hey, Damon. How are you?
All right, perfect. So we're going to get a little bit of feedback, everybody. But so David, do you have a property to sell?
I do. Yeah, I do have one in St. Louis.
What's the property address?
Property address is 3533 Maple Lane in St. Louis.
All right, awesome. Hey, you know what? I'd love to come visit that property. Can you meet me out there Saturday at 2 p.m.?
Yeah, that would work great for me.
All right, perfect. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, cool. So guys, obviously we were just kind of role playing and we didn't even do a good job of role playing. All right. It wasn't scripted, if you couldn't tell. But hey, here's the cool thing of what happened just then. All right. So first of all, you know, we captured the contact record, all of that stuff. I know that came from my profit drive campaign, which is just a direct mail campaign. Okay. So that's my driving for dollars campaign. Okay. And we send out a postcard. I knew, by the way, it actually came up and told me, hey, this is a driving for dollars call. So answer it. It's a seller. I knew that. I answered it. The call was recorded. But if you're on our professional plan, we actually just introduced our conversational AI bot. And so that conversational AI bot will actually listen to the call and it will create a summary of the call and it listens for action items. And it'll actually create tasks and says, oh, hey, David said he could meet you there at 2 o'clock on Saturday. So it'll actually create a task. Now, it doesn't automatically put that on your calendar yet. Quite frankly, technically speaking, we could, but we're like wanting to make sure that the AI bots are listening well and everything else. So it's going to prompt you. And I'll show you that in a minute whenever it prompts you and it says, hey, look, would you like to go ahead and confirm and add this task to your calendar? Okay. So that is the phone system, right? That is the phone system, guys. Very, very robust phone system. Whenever you start sending and receiving calls, what's going to happen is you can come in and click on our marketing, and you're going to see we have this profit dial inbox. So as I click on my profit dial inbox, you're going to be able to see these are all of the calls. So I can see all my calls. I can see any text messages. So again, I can have two-way text communication. This is one of the things I absolutely love about, again, guys, I mean, I build this stuff like whenever I know I'm frustrated. I mean, most of the time I'm communicating back and forth via text on my cell phone, whatever. And I would love to be able to just click a button and say, trigger a follow-up campaign. You know, maybe they said they want an appointment. Okay, cool. I want to trigger a notification to my assistant. So in the text communication box, as you see the communication, you can actually come up here and click on these three little dots. I could trigger a workflow. I could create an additional task, but that trigger the workflow, I could actually come in and have multiple different workflows. Again, we're going to get to the workflow builder, but I can trigger workflows directly from where the communication is actually happening. Okay. So complete text communication back and forth. I, of course, can come in and see all of my calls and click on here. We can listen to our. So this is our call. Now I'm gonna come back to that in just a little bit. All right, I will come back to that in just a little bit, and we're gonna see how that conversational bot, you know, if it created that suggestion that hey, you know, there's a task here. Now, of course, I can come in here and I can filter and I can search. I can do all the kind of things that you would expect to be able to do. If I want to know, like, I only want to know the calls that I've received on a particular phone number, right? So I want to see how many calls did I get on my profit drive number. Okay, well, we can filter that out real quick. And I can see, all right, there's all the calls I've received on my direct mail campaign, et cetera, okay? So fully functioning phone system, right? Fully functioning phone system. All right, so we set up our contact profile, all right, our marketing profile. We set up a phone number. The next thing you'll want to do to really get rocking and rolling, there's probably at least two websites that I would encourage you to set up. One would be a motivated seller site so that we can drive motivated sellers, right? We want to set up a motivated seller site so that we can you know capture leads. And then the other site that we probably want to set up is our cash buyer site, so that we can actually start building and capturing our cash buyer list, and of course being able to text blast those out and broadcast whenever we've got deals. And so the next thing we'll do is we'll want to set up our websites. Okay. Now again, I want to remind you guys, just click on resources, quick start guide. And all of this stuff is going to be right here, right? Here's join our community, access our training libraries, access the support center. Everything is right there under that resources quick start guide. But we're going to jump into web tools, and we're going to click on websites. All right, now you're going to see here, I've already got 1, 2, 3. Looks like I've got 8 websites set up already. So every one of these cards represents a website that I have set up, and it typically tells you what type of site, and then you can name it so that you know exactly what site this is for you. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But I can actually access the control panel for the website. I can go straight to the page builder from this card. I can look at the individual pages. I can edit the menu. I can actually start adding blog posts or any of the analytics, the tracking codes, Google Analytics, et cetera, your Facebook pixels. You can do all of that right here as well, okay? All right, so what you're going to do the very first time, though, you're not going to have any of these cards set up. So you're going to come in and hit Create New Site. Now, when you hit Create New Site, it's going to pop up, and you're going to see we have several different types of templates, and which is why you're going to recognize that most of the time you're going to need multiple websites. All right. So whenever we say buyer site, this is a buyer site for buyers to visit. That's what I want you guys to understand. That's how we classify it. So this would be sellers looking to sell their property. This would be rentals, a rental site. So rental properties. This would be rent to own. This is another acquire seller site. We got another a seller site here. Cash buyer templates, rental property, generic business site. I've actually got a diesel mechanic out of Montana that runs his entire diesel mechanic shop out of REI BlackBook, right?
I was going to mention that when you were talking about the platform in the beginning. I mean, this is built for real estate, but you could run any business on this platform.
Yeah, anything. If you need lead generation and lead conversion, you need to follow up with leads. That really is any business.
That's it.
Yeah, and sincerely, I mean, it's a good point because, quite frankly, the reason we started doing this way, I would ask whenever I'm out talking to investor groups and everything else, and typically about 30 to 40% of you probably have another hustle, maybe another business, maybe and
Sure.
It's easy to set up the same type of stuff. And I'll go back really quick to the marketing profile. So whenever you go to the marketing profiles, the reason we have marketing profiles is you can set up multiple profiles. You can set up a profile for your diesel shop. You can set up a profile for your, loan officer business, whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can come in and build multiple websites. Now for this one, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'll tell you the two that we're going to focus on today is going to be the acquire sellers and the cash buyer site. Now, pretty simple. You're just going to come in and select build site. It's going to say, yes, let's do it. And then it will pop up a little tutorial video to show you exactly what to do next, because it does take, I don't know how long it takes you to build websites, but it takes us about 5 minutes. All right. It does take a little bit of time to build that template. All right. So while that site is being built, I'm going to go ahead and check out this site here because it's already built, and I'll show you exactly what the finished product is going to look like. Okay. So here is the finished product. I've got St. Louis Real Estate Solutions.com. So this is, again, going to be driving motivated seller traffic to this. Okay. Now you see here, we've got a web form. So we do have web form builders. We'll talk a little bit about that. It's full blogging capabilities. So you can come in and actually add blogging content. But this is you want to keep this fairly simple. I keep dropping those web forms everywhere on the website here, though. So even on the side bar here, and then get my cash offer. I've got that same web form here. Okay. So to get this rock and rolling, let's kind of just go through and we'll show you guys a demo site here. We do use Google autocomplete on this. So it's actually pretty cool because it's going to know where your seller is sitting. And so as they start typing, it's going to find the properties that are closest to them on that address. So you can see 8738 Gale Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri. I am in St. Louis today. So let's go ahead and we'll click on that property so it auto completes it. Of course, we're asking for the phone number. I will tell you that you don't have to ask for this phone number here. Or even the email address. You don't have to. I'm just going to make up some stuff here. And then we do have an opt-in box here. I agree to the terms. This is going to make sure that you're A2P compliant. The other thing, whenever you go to do your A2P registration, the other thing that's going to be really important on your website, they will go look. They're going to want to see that you have a privacy policy. You're going to notice that we've already got a privacy policy written for you. Okay. And you're going to notice we've even got a terms and condition page written for you. So all of that's created for you out of the box. All right. And so we're going to go ahead and get the cash offer now. So we'll say get your cash offer. And then that is going to take us to the thank you page. Bam. And now here on this page, I can actually ask more questions, and you can completely customize this web form to your heart's content. But I want to be clear, even if they don't fill this out, it's okay, because I already captured their phone number, their email address, and the property address, right? And you probably will see this about 20% of the time, 10, 20% of the time, they'll actually complete this. But you can start asking more motivation questions and everything else. It's just going to help you have a more qualified call on that initial connection, okay? That initial connection. All right, so this is the website. We're gonna go back in. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to edit it, tweak it, and everything else. But I want to show you before we bounce over there to actually complete setup. All right, let's see if it's done yet. All right, it is done. Okay, so the site is done. And so if I click on this out of the box, you're gonna see, all right, I gotta go build the web form. I gotta make sure I update the phone number. It says sell your We Buy Houses in. That's blank. It's like, okay, we need this thing to be populated. And so I'm going to pop back into the REI BlackBook tab, and I'm going to click on my control panel. This is actually one of those cool things that we do. So first of all, this is the site nickname. So we're going to say David Demo here. And then we're going to come in and we're going to say, David buys houses. And then we buy STL houses. And we're going to say St. Louis. We'll say Missouri. And then, we're populating some other information, our business address, everything. And I'm going to save that merge field data. All right. So what we built, I actually was very frustrated. One time we actually went to update we relocated addresses and we updated our phone number. And to go update that on our website everywhere it's used was like, I'm going to pull my hair out. So we created merge fields for your website. So it's really cool. You can use these little brackets and insert name and city and state. Instead, when you're writing a blog post or doing any content on your website, if you use these short codes, it'll actually automatically insert and merge this data. So we'll go ahead and save that merge field data. Now, whenever I come back over to this website, it's going to take a few minutes, but it's going to automatically update that. It should say We Buy Houses in St. Louis. Sell your house fast. It'll all be updated. Okay.
Can I point something out? Go scroll to the top of this page. Is it this page where you have the refresh? Yeah, the clear website cache right there.
Yep.
Do that. Right.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. If you hit that, okay, clear that website cache. We'll come back over here and we hit refresh. All right. Sell your St. Louis house fast. We buy houses in St. Louis. Right? Sell my St. Louis house fast. We automatically insert all that mail merge data. Even if we go to the About Us page now, right? Here at David Buys Houses, about David Buys Houses, we basically insert that everywhere for you. Okay. So it's just one of those little things that we do, but it makes it a lot easier for you. All right.
Damon, I got to tell you this, and I don't like building websites. I do a lot, but I don't like doing it.
Yep.
I did a cash buyer website. It was the easiest website I've ever built in my life.
Dude, I take that in high regards, man. I mean, you're a good marketer, man. I've seen the stuff you do, so that's awesome. I appreciate
easiest website, and like I said, and you're going to get into it, but building the site and hooking up domain, and boom, I was off and running. And because I talk to a lot of people that buy websites through me, and I give away website templates and stuff, and that's something that people always struggle with, without exception. Customizing the site, getting the DNS settings right, and all that. It's a big pain point.
It is a pain point, and it's also a pain point to support, which is why we try to make it super easy. All right. We try to make it really super easy. And I'll tell you guys, right, the truth is you're not going to have to edit your page much. It's going to be really ready to go and ready to rock right out of the box. If you want to change, I mean, you can do, I'm going to show you guys some really advanced stuff that you can do here. I'm going to tell you 90% of you don't even mess with it. All right. Now I'm going to show you some basic stuff though, that some of you might want to toy with though. Right. So if I want to build additional pages, I just click on the manage pages. Okay. And so I can see all the pages in the website, and I can just add a new page. We do have templates and stuff like you can select from. So it makes the design layouts really easy. You can actually start writing blog posts. So you can actually update your blog post. It does come with SEO. So you can actually tell us what keywords you want to start ranking for. And it's going to actually read it and say, yep, this is good, bad, red, green, yellow system. And it's going to give you recommended suggestions for improvements. If you want to edit the menu, right? So if you want to edit the menu and change the top navigation layout, you can certainly do that. Okay. You can edit the theme. So if you want to make it different colors, there's a very basic option. There's some advanced options. And then last but certainly not least on this is our tracking codes. This is where you'll put your Google Analytics code, your Facebook tracking pixels, and stuff like that. You can just put it here and it'll automatically be published to your website. And then last but certainly not least is the domain name. So you're going to click here. So all the hosting is included. So you don't have to pay an additional hosting fee or anything else, but you do have to get a domain name, the URL, right? And so the way that we work, we do this is we have a whole domain management system set up. And if you've already purchased a domain, it's going to be available in this dropdown. Now you can also, if you have a domain name, you've already set it up with GoDaddy, you literally can import your domain name to REI BlackBook, and then it will be available in this dropdown, right? It's going to be available. And you can see here, so I've got REI Profit Machine. We'll go ahead and hit update. And now that is the domain name. That is the URL for this website. So we just built REI Profit Machine, and it is ready to go and it's ready to rock. Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you guys here, is that you might come in here and we've already, wrote some copy for the About Us page as an example. And you're like, man, that doesn't even remotely sound like who I am. Okay. All you got to do is come in here and hit edit page. Now, once you go to edit page, this becomes a page builder. Okay. And so if I want to edit that, I just click on it, and you can see here where it has the brackets company. So it automatically inserts David buys houses, right? So you can come in here and edit this to your heart's content. All right. You can edit that. You can add additional content. So for instance, if I want to add a web form there, I would go build the web form, and then I would just drag and drop that over here. I've actually got probably a couple already built. So you can just drag and drop the web form there. Okay. Really simple to drag and drop that. You can add pictures, videos, advanced stuff, light boxes, icon groups, photo galleries, social media tabs, testimonials. You can add all kinds of stuff. It's very, very simple. And if you find yourself doing stuff over and over again, you can actually create your own set of templates, right? So you can come in here and actually create your own templates. And we've got some content pages and some landing pages and stuff like that you can actually select directly from our template library as well. Okay. So again, guys, it's really simple. I mean, we're probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes in this. We built our website. We built our website. We built our phone number. You're pretty much ready to go. But let's kind of see how it all kind of starts working together. All right. So we submitted, right? So we submitted off of my St. Louis Real Estate Solutions. Remember, we went ahead and filled out this web form here. And so if I now go back into REI BlackBook on the homepage, I can see I've got a new lead. I've got a new web form submission. If I click the little arrow, it's going to show me, hey, they didn't give us a name because I didn't actually ask for the name, but I've got the property address. Okay. All right. So keep this in mind. I'm going to come back to that in just a second. All right. Because I also want to show you, because I want to show you guys this before I actually go. The other website I would encourage you to build would be your cash buyer website. And so I've got a cash buyer website called stldiscountrealestatedeals.com. Okay. So this is the site basically. So, hey, look, are you looking for discount properties in, my market, which is St. Louis? Okay. They can sign up to be on our buyers list, or they can actually view inventory. I've even got it set up so they can actually submit an offer, right? And that they can view all the inventory. Okay. So remember this. All right. So remember this, because we're actually going to go and we want to work that property that we got from our seller, right? So I've got this property here. Let me write that down just so I can keep it. So 8738 Gale Avenue. Now, the first thing I can do is I can, of course, click on that property, and it takes me to our lead sheet. Now, I have a very advanced, overly complicated lead sheet. I do that just to show you guys that you can build this thing out and ask as many questions as you possibly want. I would encourage you to simplify it personally, but if you hit this little pencil button, you can add any fields that you want, all right, onto the lead sheet, okay? Next, our contact tab. This is going to show us all of the contacts. Now you can see here that I'm just going to edit this real quick, and we're going to say David Seller. Okay, so now we've got the name of the contact. When in fact, I'm going to show you another way to get the, because I'm going to give you the actual seller name. It's one of those areas I should probably fix and just have it auto-populated. But I can see all of the contacts associated with this deal. So I can see the seller. Maybe I've got Damon Demo in here. And Damon Demo is going to do, he's the agent, right? So he's the buyer's agent, right? So I'm basically just adding all of the contacts and their roles so I can see everybody associated with this deal. So I got everybody in one spot. I don't have to be chasing it, running around, okay? I can, of course, run through the repair list. Now, you can set your own pricing and everything else. If you know your pricing, you can come in and adjust pricing for the chimney, for driveways, landscaping. You can come in and build out your custom pricing schedule. Very, very easy. All right. And it'll actually, we come in here and let's just say that we're going to do exterior. We're going to do, we'll do interior floors. And we're going to do, 750 square feet, right? So bam, does the floors. It will build out. It's going to start building out your repair list and your punch list. And it's also going to save that $4,875 repair list estimate as well, okay? Again, you can build this and make it you can add custom fields if you want. You can build this out as robust as you want with your own pricing. Of course, we're going to come in. We can pull comparables. So let's go ahead and pull the comparables. Now, remember, all we did, our seller just gave us their street address, right? So, of course, now I'm going to pull all the property information. Here's the bedroom count, the bathroom count. I can see that they last sold this property in 2012, or they bought it in 2012. I can see what they bought it for, the tax assessment. And here's the owner of record. I'm going to pull the owner of record. I'm going to pull the owner of record's mailing address for you. So now I can see that, all right, this is an owner-occupied property. I can actually map it out. I can start doing all of the satellite views. I can do the street views. I can, all of that stuff. I can just kind of start, seeing the neighborhood. All right, this is a nice little street, to be honest. Okay, so nice little street. I can view all that. I can go ahead. Let's go back to the map. And if I zoom in, all right, I can start clicking on these dots. All right, that property sold for $341. We're going to use that one. I'm going to use this one. I'm basically building my comparables that I want to use. And it goes ahead and selects them in the list down here. It tells me my ARV based upon these comps that I select. So if we want to change it, let's go ahead and use this comp over here. All right, so now my ARV is 321. It calculates my maximum allowable offer, which is completely adjustable, right? So if I'm wholesaling this, I've got an assignment fee of $15,000 built in by default. I'm estimating about 2% holding cost, 3% closing cost. Remember my repair estimate. They pulled in my repair estimate. And I'm basically saying, look, I want my end buyer, my rehabber, I wanted them to make a 20% net investor profit based upon the ARV. And so it shows I've got my $64,000 profit built in for my rehabber, my repair cost, my holding cost, my assignment fee. So my maximum allowable offer on this deal is $221. Okay. So I was able to calculate that really quick. And of course, you can adjust that very, very easy. Now, if I'm going on the meeting, maybe I got some off-market comps that I want to use. I can actually add comps. Maybe I want to refresh comps after a period of time. Or if I want to print them because I'm going on the meeting, I can actually print them and use the comps, et cetera, right? So I've got the comps. I've got a simple analyzer. We have a very robust analyzer. I'll show you guys in a second. I've got a very robust analyzer, but this is a pretty simple analyzer. It's going to show you a fix and flip, lease option, rental. Let's say I want to look at this thing. I'm gonna buy and hold it. We're going to go ahead and get this thing for $300. Okay, and I'm going to take an 80% loan out, $360, and we'll do a 6% interest rate. Okay, starts calculating all my profits, everything else. But what this thing does, I can continue to plug in my expenses, any potential incomes. Let's say I can rent this thing out for $2,500 a month. my annual growth, vacancy, all of that stuff. And let's say I'm going to pretend I'm going to hold this thing for 30 years. And this thing will actually build out some really cool reports. So I've actually got my cash flow metrics based upon all the numbers and everything else. Now, here's the thing. You guys are wholesalers. I get it. I know David's crowd and his audience. And you're like, look, I don't care what the damn cash flow is.
I don't care how much the thing's going to make.
Yeah,
as long as it makes me 20 grand when I assign it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. I'm going to show you how you can use this in your marketing, though. I'm going to show you how you guys can use this in your marketing. All right. So we're going to keep kind of working the deal. Basically, all we're trying to do is left to right. Like we're working this deal left to right. So now I can come in and there is a task management system in here. You can build your own task templates. So I'm going to load a template. I'm going to say, here's my quick wholesale list. Right. And so this is super simple. I would guarantee you guys in David's training, and if you guys stick around with him, he's probably got better step-by-step checklist. This is just really simple though. And you can load multiple templates, right? So let's say I've got an example template here. I can actually create it by stages and sections. Just really easy to come in and build out a checklist to make sure I get this damn thing to closing. I can start selecting dates when I want that done by, and even assign it to other people on the team. Okay. So that's our task management system. Then we're going to upload documents. Okay. So if I'm going to upload documents, this is anything, right? I can upload documents, files, pictures. So let's say I got a contractor's bid. So here's my proposal summary. I've got all these photos of the property. So we're going to go ahead and add those photos to the library. Okay. So all those are uploading, including that PDF contractor's bid. Of course, I can add any notes on this thing. But bottom line is like, look, now we got this deal done. We're ready to actually market. I got it under contract, okay? And I'm ready to actually market this. So basically this, we acquired this lead directly from our website. Now I'm going to show you some other cool things. And I just said, hey, look, we got this. We're going to move forward on this lead right away. I'm going to show you how you can actually follow up with those leads and contacts and everything else as well in our contact management system. I'm going to show you that too, I promise. Right? But now I'm going to assume that we're ready to market this deal. So I'm going to click on my marketing tab, and there's a few cool things that we're going to do for you out of the box. All right. One, if you want to publish it to all of the REI BlackBook community, if I click this publish on, what this is going to do is it's going to go and look at all of my members, like thousands of members across the country. And every one of you, one of the other things you can do is you can set up under resources, you can set up your own property alerts. Okay. So whenever you set up a property alert, anytime the community, any other REI BlackBook member posts a property and they mark it as on, that you're going to publish it to the REI BlackBook community, then we're going to send it out to everybody that matches that profile or that property profile. Okay. So don't turn that on unless you really want to send that out, right? Because what happens is we're going to shoot the email. Now I'm just so you guys are clear, I'm going to send an email to like David. I'm going to shoot you an email and say, hey, by the way, Damon just posted a property. He tagged it to the community and it matched your property alert. Here's his contact info. I don't take anything. I don't get in the middle of it. I don't do anything. You guys make a bunch of money together and life is good. Okay. Now, there's two things we do on the websites. One is we build what we call a single property website. Now, a single property website is literally exactly what it sounds out. We're only going to advertise a single property. This is really good for wholesalers. Honestly, stop sending me a damn link to your Dropbox folder that doesn't tell a story. Right? You got to selling property. You got to tell the story. That's what sells deals. Okay. And so you can build a website dedicated to this property. And all you got to do to build it, by the way, let's do this. Ready? I clicked on, that's it. Now, the other thing I want to do is I might want to feature this on my cash buyer website. So if I come in here and turn on, now it'll be featured on my cash buyer website. Now, the third box we have over here, this is, you want to syndicate it out to other online marketplaces like Oodle or HotPads, OLX, all kinds of different real estate marketplaces that allow syndication. We're going to syndicate it to all of those listing platforms for you. Okay. Now, most of those platforms, this used to be hot 10 years ago. David, I'm sure you could probably remember syndication engines.
Oh God. Yeah. Syndication was huge.
Yeah, they've locked down a lot if you don't own the property. All right. So really where we see the syndication, quite frankly, mostly beneficial for landlords and true for sale by owner sites. Okay. Right. But it's a little tougher for wholesalers, admittedly. All right. And then, guys, really, we're just going to come down and we're going to start putting all start telling the story of the property, right? This is a hot deal. David demo, right? I can come in and save that. I could do a full property description. I could start, selecting the property features. All those photos that I uploaded in the shared folders, like, hey, look, here's some photos of this property. Do you want to put those on here? And you can rearrange them. So I'm going to drag this one to the front image. I could put a caption on this. Amazing circle drive. All right, so we'll put that. We'll save all that. This thing's got a tool shed, grass lawn, property description, right? Let's go ahead and copy that. Let's see. We'll save that. And then that's really, you put all that property marketing material. It's going to build the website for you automatically. We'll build a print flyer for you. So if you're going to a REI Club meeting or something like that, they got a deal desk. So you'll be able to create the PDF flyer. We'll pick the flyer. You'll pick the information you want, and then you'll pick the images you want, and then you'll pick any URLs. Now, I got a ton of URLs, guys, because this is a demo account, okay? So it's a demo account, and you'll choose the profile. So what phone number do you want displayed? All right, all of that. So you can create the flyer, print that off. We'll create the HTML flyer, right? So other social media sites you can post it to. We'll create an email template that you can blast out to your buyers list. Okay. And then you can set up a custom marketing profile for this property as well. So if you want a different phone number, so if you got a partner and they handle all of your dispositions, then you can set up your disposition profile and have them handle that as well. Okay. But this is pretty cool. So let's go in here. We're going to
is that pretty cool, Damon? It's super cool.
It's easy,
it's super cool. I mean, for guys, I can't move my deal. You see them in the Facebook groups, anybody got a buyer and, in St. Louis, I can't move this deal. If you've got a good buyers list in this software or this platform, you can build a single property site to send out to your buyers, and you can share it with all the other REI BlackBook guys and print out flyers to take REIA meetings. There's no reason you can't move a deal if it's locked in at a good price. Right.
Yeah. Well, you're going to know if you got a deal or not. Right. I mean, that's you know the drill, right?
Yeah.
So here's I love these single property websites, guys. As wholesalers, this is what you should be doing. You should not be using your damn links to Dropbox. Don't get me wrong. I know why you do it, because this stuff is typically hard, but we're going to make it really easy, right? So what you're going to do, and we already just said publish on. In fact, I'm even going to give you you can select the custom domain. So we're going to say viewthehomeonline.com. We'll hit update the domain name. Now, if I want to view and customize that, you can. We're not even worried about that right now. I can actually choose a workflow. So if anybody fills out the form on this single property website, I can automatically trigger a workflow that's going to run when they inquire about this property, right? So maybe I want to send a notification to my buyer. Maybe I want to send a text reply. I can do all kinds of cool stuff. Maybe I want to automatically email them a property offer agreement, right? So I can come in, I can select, I can upload videos. I can go ahead and say, let's turn that document on, that proposal. I want to go ahead and show that. I can pick which comps I want to show, including rent comps, right? If I want to pick what rent comps are showing, I can choose the analysis. We're going to go ahead and turn on that cash flow statement.
Hey, okay. Damon, how long of a video can it be?
To be honest, we're embedding it.
Okay.
It.
So, yeah. That's cool too, right?
Yeah. So if you got YouTube or Vimeo or anything else, you're just going to place the embed code right there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
In fact,
so if you do a walkthrough video, right? Yeah. They inquire on the thing, then you just text them a link to the YouTube video. Hey, here's, here I'm going to walk you through the property kind of video. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah. So I'm just going to pull a random video. So don't this may or may not work. So
be ready to take a trip without the kid.
So all we do, okay, Google stop. Come in here. Well, typically, so this is not going to have embed code on that particular video, but you just take that embed code, guys, and you would pop it right into your REI BlackBook account. Okay, and that's it. All right, we got QR codes that you can scan. It takes them right to the property website. You can add tracking pixels. And so now we've got this website done. So let's go take a peek at it. So now if I hit view, here is the website. Amazing Circle Drive, hot deal for David, 3 bedrooms, 3 bath. If I want more information, there's the web form, which will trigger that workflow. Additional photos. It's going to do a nice little walkthrough photo library. We're going to map it out for them. And not only are we mapping it, but we're going to show them the comps that we told them are around there too. Okay. And again, those are comps that you hand select, right? So you pick what comps you want them to see. What's nearby. Here's a list of the comps. Here's those analysis. Remember, I told you guys, look, I know that you don't care what the cash flow is, but you did the cash flow analysis. You might as well show them if they're a potential landlord. All right. And then some documents, I can actually share any documents and everything else here. Okay. So now what I do, instead of, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to now show you guys the contact management piece. So I've got view the home online. So this is the website. This is the property we want to sell. Okay. So the first thing we want to do, I'm going to come back over to our website. This is our cash buyer website, right? So if we hit view our inventory, there we go. 8738 Gale Avenue. It's now on our cash buyer website. All right. They can click on it, see all the information here as well. So I've got a single property website, plus it's listed as the inventory on my cash buyer site. The contact us form is going to trigger that. But now anybody that wants to join our buyers club, okay. So now we're going to come in here and 800-870. So David's going to come in here. He agrees to the terms and conditions. He's going to join our buyers list. When he joins our buyers list, we can actually now say, David, give us some more information. Tell me your buyer profile. What does your buyer profile look like? Okay. And here's where that's really important. Everybody that fills this out, let's go back into REI BlackBook. And because I haven't even shown you guys the contact manager yet. like David, we started this off, I was like, hey, can you show them the CRM? I'm like, yeah, right. I will, but I'm gonna show them a bunch of other cool stuff first. So we got our phone number set up. We got our website set up, right? We got a lead. We worked the lead. Okay. We worked the lead all the way. We're marketing the deal. Now I'm going to come into my contacts. Okay. So here's the CRM part of this. And so you're going to see a couple of things I want to show you guys. All right. So first of all, we got these nice little tabs. These allow you to segment groups of contacts basically. But the bottom line is I've got my cash buyer. All right. There's David. He just filled out the form. So David's already on my cash buyer list. I didn't have to go add him or anything else. If I wanted to click on him, I could see all of the details, right? But I'm just going to go ahead and select all here, trigger actions, and we're going to send a text broadcast. We're going to go ahead and merge everybody's first name into this thing, right? David, I got a hot one. You have first crack. And then,
I always like to send, this one's going to be gone by the end of the day. You better act fast.
Yeah, gone by the end of the day, right? Okay. And now we send a link to the URL. I can also schedule this, right? And then if I wanted to show a preview, it's going to show me all the people that I've selected, all the recipients, they're opted in. And of course, if I wanted to send this, guys, I could just send this now. And now, man, if I wanted to, let's clear all selections. If I wanted to, I could actually come over here on my advanced filtering and I could say, look, this property is actually, I only want folks that said on their buyer profile, they buy complete gut rehabs because this is a gut rehab. I don't want to send this out to a bunch of people that are just doing, looking for some fluff and buffs, right? So you can actually filter out your buyers as well and really target your list, okay? Really target your list. So this is our CRM component of it. There's a few things I'll show you guys how to do here. In fact, if I go to our seller website leads, there's David's seller. So if you guys remember on the very first call, it says invalid phone number because I put a BS phone number in there. But now on my contact list, so here's Damon demo. If I want to call them, let's go to my TV ad leads. Actually, I'm going to go to my Profit Drive leads. So here's my Profit Drive leads. I can see somebody called, they're unknown because I don't know who they are yet. I can see their phone number. I can see when it was created, answered. Oh, they called off the blue postcard because it was tagged blue postcard. Awesome. Let's go ahead and call them back. I'm going to go ahead and select the caller ID, which the caller ID was, on this one was the Profit Drive campaign. And we're going to record that call, and I'm going to call them now. Okay. So it goes ahead and calls them. It connects me on my cell phone. Okay. Bam. And it calls the contact. All right. It records that call, everything. I want to shoot them a text message. I can just shoot them a text message directly from here. And last but certainly not least, if I go ahead and let's open up that contact, it's going to show me all of the detail records and everything else. I can see that there was a flow triggered. I can see the incoming call. In fact, here's the call, right? So this was the call that we started with David and I, and there's the recorded call. Okay. Shows you a transcription, shows you the summary, you know, and typically would have suggested actions even when it was a more robust advanced call. Guys, we only recorded that thing for 40 seconds, so it didn't have much, but all the details, guys, everything I want is now on this contact record. So that's the CRM component of this. But yeah, guys, at the end of the day, today I showed you your phone system, showed you how to set up the website, your seller website, your cash buyer website, how to set up a call flow. The last thing I'll show you guys, and then we'll leave it up, is the workflows. Any workflow, guys, it's going to be very similar to our call flows. You can build a workflow it's Legos. I mean, if you can dream it, you can probably build the automation in this system. Okay. All right, so David, I will leave it up to you, man. Where do they go? I mean, I know you've got some additional stuff. So
yeah, so if any of you guys are interested in REI BlackBook, I'm going to have depending on where you see this video, I'm going to have a link below the video or above the video or whatever, but my affiliate link for REI BlackBook. If you're not part of Wholesaling Partners, I'd like you to join Wholesaling Partners. The REI BlackBook is the one and only official CRM of Wholesaling Partners. We'll put some specific training, including this video, inside the training center of Wholesaling Partners. So if you guys want to go back through it, you know, and watch it in you know, real time, so you can pause and do something and come back and all that, it'll be in here. But man, this, you know, I'm going through while you were talking about stuff. So you've got the CRM, you've got the phone numbers and all the automation for that. You've got the comping tool, the rehab estimator, the websites, you know, from, you know, if you've got the business plan 3 and the pro plan 10 websites, deal analyzer, the marketing platform, the single property sites. I mean, if you went out and bought this stuff individually, you'd be at a $1,000, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot. So, guys, and this is why I picked, you know, Damon's CRM or, you know, whatever marketing platform, is because there's just so much value there. It's not just, you know, a CRM that's complicated and you have to like struggle to figure out how to build a flow or how to create a website. This was so easy. When I went in it first time, never been in it before, I created a website like that. It took me minutes to create a website. Right? Fill in your information, it auto populates. I've even went in and messed around and, you know, customized more. I changed the image in it, you know, did some different things, which was easy to do. I don't know if this is because of your website hosting or how you have the platform set up or what, but I created a blog article for my cash buyer website entitled Best Property Management Companies in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay.
You know, it's not number 1 on Google, but within 4 days, it was ranking on like page number 2 of Google, right? Yep. Quick for a brand new website to rank at all.
With no authority. Yeah.
With no authority. So, you know, my mentality with that, building my cash buyers list was to create articles such as that. What do cash buyers or investors look for? They look for property management companies. They look for construction contractors, rehab contractors,
Mhm.
dumpster companies, right? So I was going to create articles like that. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try this out. I'm going to throw it on there and see how it
Yeah.
does. And it was like, boom, it was ranking.
And it's probably not like overly, those industries that you just mentioned probably aren't overly competitive.
Right.
Right.
They're not
So,
saturated.
yeah,
Right.
it's not like you've got a ton of those people that are, you might have a ton of dumpster companies, but I guarantee you probably not many of them are writing blog articles and posts and stuff like that. Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's a brilliant idea, man. Brilliant.
Yeah. And same thing, and we're going to do the same strategy. And actually, I'm going to do some training on it, but same strategy with cash buyer sites, with motivated seller sites, because everybody's always after the same keyword, sell my house fast for cash and, cash home buyers and all that. But, focusing on some keywords like maybe best estate sale companies, things like that, where you've got somebody in a situation, best, probate attorney or best whatever. And then you're finding those people for your area, best probate attorney for St. Petersburg, Florida. Right.
There's some really cool stuff that you can do there. We've actually done this. We've done this divorce attorneys, right? And said, hey, look, here's the directory of divorce attorneys. And we just used an REI BlackBook website. And then we use a form and it basically asks them, says, hey, is there a house involved? And then what we do is we take, like, if there's a house involved, then it notifies us and it routes to us. Otherwise, we actually used to sell those leads to divorce attorneys. So then we would actually run paid ads and everything else and SEO. So basically we were trying to liquidate our advertising cost by reselling those leads. And if it didn't have a house involved, cool. I'm going to sell you to the divorce attorney first. I mean, it's nothing in it for me. Or you just go give them away to the divorce attorneys because everybody else is knocking on that divorce attorney a door and they're like this, hey, can I get leads? If you go in and say, hey guys, by the way, hey, Mr. Divorce Attorney, these are leads that I have that, they need a divorce attorney. I'll just give them to you.
Yeah. 100%. Title companies love you to bring them leads, right? Attorneys, all that, all great ideas. Yeah. So anyway, guys, that's, this is a tremendous platform. If you add all those things up, that's included in this. It far exceeds what, the price of getting it, but great system. Damon, job well done on this thing, man.
I appreciate it, man. I when we first started talking a while ago, and I was like, hey, man, I'll encourage you, go build it all day. People tell me all the time, like, hey, I'm going to go build my own and stuff. I'm like, hey, great. I know that I've got about 10 million bucks into this thing at this point.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, it's going to be, it's tough. And granted, I will tell you honestly, David, if I knew then what I know now, I don't know if I would have started down this path because we've built this massively, big monster but I do love it. It's a passion. Yeah. It is an absolute passion. And here's the kicker, man. We will save you money. You'll be able to cancel your websites, probably your phone system, probably 3, 4, 5, 6 other tools. On average, most people save about $300 to $500 a month when they switch over to us.
Yeah.
But more importantly, we will help you close more deals. We'll help you close deals from leads that you completely forgot about because we're going to drop them into follow-up campaigns and our workflow engines and everything else. In fact, I just had a testimonial come in and she made $35,000 on a deal that she completely forgot about. She's like, this lead been followed for 2 years. She made $35,000. I did the math for her and, whatever it was, it basically paid for 14 years of REI BlackBook, right? Yeah. On that one deal. So you have a system like this and you can get somebody in, and set up a workflow where it shoots them an email every month for years, right? Yep. Hey, how's that? What's going on with that property over there, on Maple Lane? You still holding on, right? Yeah. Until somebody hits unsubscribe, Yeah, till they sell the property, until they tell me to remove. Yeah, that's it. So, hey, Dave, I appreciate the time, man. Yeah. And here's what I'll kick in, guys. Look, if you guys take advantage through David, here's what we're gonna do. We'll give you guys an email as soon as you get started. We'll give you guys a welcome email, and you can jump on the phone with one of our success coaches and all the stuff that I just showed you. You're like, hey, I want to see it again, or hey, how do I do this? They will make sure they'll actually expedite your success. Okay, so we'll do those for you guys if you get going through David. Take advantage of that. And other than that, man, David, again, I appreciate your time today.
I did that call with Andre, is it?
Yeah. Yep.
Andre, great guy, incredible. You guys will love that. Very intelligent, very smart guy, very friendly.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks so much, buddy.